Hello, everybody watching, and welcome, of course, to a very special episode here of the Divas Scrim Wars. This is, of course, brought to you by Game.tv. Now, the reason I say this is so special is because today we are celebrating the wonderful week of Women's Day. And to join me, of course, on this wonderful panel for today, I have four amazing, wonderful, and very influential women from the esports industry. I would like to bring them onto our screens now. Hi, Ankkita, Tania, Meow 16K, and Elica. How are you guys doing today? And it's so wonderful to have you all. I want to start off by you guys just introducing yourselves so everybody knows what you guys have been up to. So, Ankita, let's start with you.
Okay, well, I've always been really bad with introductions, but hi, I'm Ankkita C. I'm 25 years old, and I've recently been creating a lot of Valorant content on the channel. If you guys haven't watched it, I'm also really into unboxing and vlogging. So, yeah.
Tanya, what about you?
First of all, thank you for such a warm welcome, Angela. It's great to join you as a panelist. And apart from that, yes, we are celebrating such a beautiful day for all beautiful women around us today. So, yes, it's great to share the stage with all beautiful ladies around here. Apart from that, towards my introduction, I myself, Tanya, a shoutcaster. And yes, it is Game.tv giving a very good approach for all the women. Also, yeah, I am also casting elsewhere, which is Free Fire Esports Official, Garena. But then comes Divas. Scrims were the only platform where the females are getting this opportunity to play, to cast. So particularly this event is of the divas, by the divas, and for the divas.
Oh wow, that's wonderful. The fact that, like you said, right, it's the fact that it's for the divas, by the divas, with the divas, and for everybody watching, of course, this is of course a divas tournament. That means that only women participate in this particular war, and through all the seasons, we've finished about 32 seasons, if I'm not wrong. We've had some wonderful women on the floor doing some crazy, insane Garena Free Fire play. So do check it out. It's always live to you every weekend. And we have 16K. I mean, I know so much about you already. You're among the few professional girl gamers from a very long time. I want to know more about you as what do you do right now, and where are you seeing yourself head very soon?
Um, Actually, when I started off, as you say, you've been watching me playing CS:GO and stuff professionally. I actually had this in my plan and list. So 3 years ago, when I started playing it, I actually wanted to be the that one professional players who compete in tournaments in major tournaments in India. And when it started off, it really gave me that spirit of going more ahead of that, and that made me participate in international tournaments as well. And right now I have switched to CS Valorant. I've been streaming and playing Valorant professionally as well. uh, I think I'm looking forward to go pro in Valorant as well, learning few baby steps, but I think it will happen.
It will happen, absolutely. I do think it happened. I mean, if it happened with you with Counter Strike, I must say that you've been part of some of the top esport organizations. I know about Global Esports, of course, being one of them. We represented the country and also represented a so many bunch of women who look on to you to just go ahead and take that next step. And next on to our panel, I have somebody who's my youngest panelist, in my opinion. She's 16 years old. She's just entered the arena. She's a shoutcaster. Elica, can you tell me more about you?
Yes, hi everyone. I'm Elica and I'm 16 years old. Currently, I'm into casting. But before I stepped into esports, I actually tried a lot of things. I started playing professionally, which I understood that I needed a lot of maturity in order to, play professionally. Then I started streaming. I streamed for a good amount of time for around 6 months, and then I thought I wanted to do something unique because I talk a lot, and then I got into casting, and I think I'm very comfortable here, and I feel my soul, passion, everything. And I think age is not a bar to follow your passions.
Oh wow, you sound really excited, and you remind me of all the women out there who are really talkative. We have a lot of them in India,
Yes.
including all the five of us. You all can definitely try shoutcasting. I think that is a place made for women more than men. We can talk about every detail over and over again in different kinds of ways. So that's of course a great thing. But okay, moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we're going to start discussing more important things. The fact that you all have come from such different backgrounds of the esports industry already tells us that content creation is brilliant if you belong to this industry. If you're a professional player, it's brilliant. You have something to look on to. Like Tanya and Elica, you guys are amazing shoutcasters, building your way through. What do you actually think it takes to be an esports influencer? We can start with you, Tanya, because you're like the freshest face to me. I would love to understand from you.
Yeah, actually, the matter of fact, yes, ladies do love to talk, women do love to talk. Apart from that, we have such a good talent, blessed by God, we can say. We can give every minute detail. But then what it takes a lot of confidence. Angela, I wouldn't deny to the fact, because you get some of the haters when you just enter it out. It is never too easy. But then it is the positive frame of mind which help you through it. You just have to push the negativity aside, hold all the positives that you're getting, because it is more of a plus than you get more of a negative, right? So what I personally do is I bag up all the positive comments that I receive. I bag up all the positive attitude, and then I go ahead. But then it doesn't only take this confidence, it doesn't only take, you also need to have the best of knowledge. So yes, you have to play the game. I'm playing Valorant, I'm playing Free Fire since quite too long, but yes, Valorant recently. So I have been a shoutercaster for mobile gaming. I'm sure I'm going to enter Valorant casting as well.
And Ankita, talking about you, the fact that when you entered the industry, I don't even think, we had these particular designations given that, content creation or a streamer is a thing, right? So, how has that really impacted your journey? Do you consider streaming a huge part as an esports influencer?
I do actually. I feel like streaming is the reason I'm able to actually connect with a lot of people, because that's where I can have a conversation with a lot of people. Like in terms of content creation, I love making shorter videos. I love making a lot of different types of videos like unboxings and vlogs, like I told you. But then that is not some place where I feel like I'm genuinely connecting with the audience and I'm able to have a conversation or express something to them, my thoughts and my opinions, and hear their thoughts and opinions as well in like a real time. So I feel like, yeah, streaming is a huge thing in it.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of amazing women in today's time in India go on to
Yeah.
streaming as the first step. And then, a lot of people watch you, they understand your skill set, and then you take part in tournaments like the Divas Scrim was, for example. And then you go ahead and get picked up by a completely professional squad. And then going forward, you also become a streamer and then you become a professional player. But Elika, now things are very different with you because you have
Yes.
entered very recently. You already considered an esports influencer because you're a caster yourself. It takes a lot to be a caster, in my opinion,
Yeah.
because you're not only just talking about the game, you're analyzing it, you're trying to coordinate with your co-caster over things, and you need to be really good on camera. So can you tell me how your journey started? Like, how did you come up to this thing that I want to be a shoutcaster?
Shortcast, of course. I mean, I am not, I don't want to impress anyone, but I think one of the reasons was Angela, of course.
Oh
I
my
mean, she
god.
was the only caster I was looking forward. I had absolutely no one. Every time there's someone I see as female, as I knew when I wanted to play professionally, I looked after Meow. I told my mom that she's a professional player, and when I started streaming, I showed all these beautiful women streaming, Zaya, Ankita, and everyone. When I came into casting, that was the biggest question. I had absolutely I had no one to guide me through that what it takes to be a caster. And when I started off being a kid, not even I'm not even a consider myself as a girl, being a kid, I had to learn a lot of things in a rough manner. But then eventually, as you asked, what it takes from an esports influencer, I think the consistency is the key, because I've seen a lot of creators. I mean, there are a lot of women creators who could have gone through heights, but the consistency is the main key, I guess. I mean, if I was consistent in streaming, I could have gone heights, but then I would have never met casting as well at the same time.
And is it true, Meow? As a fact, I've always questioned myself over this. The fact that, everybody who enters the esports industry, they always think of being a professional gamer first. And, the other parts of it just completely go unheard till you kind of reach a point that, okay, I know I'm not a professional gamer, I'm not that great at the game, but hey, maybe I can be a shoutcaster. So, for somebody like you who's been a professional gamer for so long, what is your outlook like? Do you think at some point you will stop playing professionally and then go ahead and become a streamer, or do you consider that I'm just going to keep changing my game and getting better and better, and then maybe become a veteran and then become a coach?
So basically, when I started off, it was through a challenge. It was my brother who said, "Hey, wait, you cannot play that game that well. So maybe you." He just forged a scorecard, and I was on the top. And he questioned me, "Why is that? How is that possible?" And that's when it started off. And I have always been, my personality has always revolved around the competition. If someone has to challenge me in something, then I'll go ahead and get that thing. So, like, that urge of getting that
Yeah.
something out of me, proving myself that yes, no one can tell me what I can do, has got me into professional gaming so much that right now I'm not even thinking, like, my priority has to be playing professionally. I have skipped streams or content for uh, team practice or tournaments. I have skipped for practicing the actual abilities, Asians. Since Valorant is a new game, there is so much to learn, so much to new things to come up with. And I think I've been investing so much time, and I do realize that content creation is a part of my life. But I think professional playing professionally has been always over any other thing.
Absolutely, that makes sense. And of course, everybody watching Saloni, the streamer, she was gifted a PC, ladies and gentlemen, by one of our viewers. So that's the extent that we have people who love the content that comes from the video gaming industry. It's not a small industry. There's so much, so many different things happening into it. But now, removing the fun from it, I have to ask you all on a personal level that how many hours per day do you all spend at your craft? Because that's what I'm going to call it. Like Ankita, for example, apart from streaming, if you're saying you make short videos, that means that you need to invest so much time in editing them. Tanya, if you have to cast a game, you have to go ahead and learn that game, understand everything. Same goes for Elika. If there's a new game in the market, she needs to understand that. Saloni, you have to learn every single part. You're a professional gamer. So, approximately how many hours a day does somebody invest in something like this?
As long as I'm awake.
Wow.
I've woken up
Yeah,
now, so
that's
I'll tell you
actually
like
one thing.
a basic schedule would be like I've woken up now, I'm here, I have another video after this, another video after that, an interview after that, my stream after that, I have to schedule for tomorrow after that, and then I go to sleep, wake up and repeat. So that is the entire day.
And Tanya, for you, I mean, you're doing one game in particular that you're exceedingly really well in, which is Garena Free Fire. But I'm sure that even though it's the same kind of game, how many hours per day do you have to give in to make it completely fruitful?
It is just like Ankita said, I would not even give a second thought. It is as long as your eyes are open, we have to go with that. Because certainly we have, in the morning, I have to cast in Hindi at game.tv itself. And then comes evening where I'm an English caster there. So then again there. And we have to keep a check because when I'm casting FFBC, I need to make sure I analyze each and every player there. We are not allowed to make any mistakes. So analyzing takes lots of time about how long does this team survive? How long does this team take to rotation? You are being an analyst yourself, you know how many hours does it take. So yes, it does take a lot. And then ultimately when the day ends, I go for streaming, I interact with the viewers, and then that is the time where I extend my limits on learning, because yes, viewers definitely are helpful at certain times when I miss that this player took 7 headshots. No, it was 8 indeed. So yes, it is ultimately the viewers as well, the streaming part, that helps me grow as a shoutercaster, as an analyzer. So yes, it is as long as your eyes are open, you work it out.
All right. So that, of course, is the four different kinds of departments that we have in the esports industry. They all need consistency, which is the first thing, like Elika mentioned. The second thing is that you always have to keep working harder. They always make it sound in the industry that it's all a walk in the park for a woman, but it's never like that. The fact that we sometimes even have to work double the hours to just prove our worth is something that all of us have seen. We have grown through that, and we are moving forward. Which brings me next now to a very important question. The fact that, when I talk to women even today, they'll always say that, it's a little toxic to be in an environment like ours. People have different opinions about women who enter the esports and gaming industry. So I want to start with you, Meow. Like, how have you really moved through these phases of being in the industry?
I think hate comes in all ways. I mean, I won't distinguish in terms of female or a male. I have got hate from female, players or influencers, as much as I've got hate from male influencers or male people, community people in the community. So I think it's all balanced, and I feel that my presence in the community has to do something. And apart from being influenced by the hate, I would go with what what revolves around apart from the hate, and it makes me stronger every single day, every single you know situation that makes me feel that maybe I'm doing something wrong. But there comes a point where I also feel that this has to come only because they know me as a person, and I think I have come so far to know, to come into their eyes. And I think it just makes me stronger every single while that people have questioned me or people hate me. And toxicity is something that comes along, which is wrong, but I think it's a part of the community. I mean, we cannot change people, but I think we can change our approach, and we can be, or as influencers, I think it's our responsibility to make aware of people how to encourage or motivate others, no matter how good or bad they are. I think making someone feel very special is something that has to be a boon.
I mean, what about your thoughts on this, Ankita? The fact that, when you're a streamer, you're targeting the whole world, technically. Everybody is on to you. Most people will say nice things in the front and then go ahead and say something at the back. How do you really go through this? I mean, from the time you started till now, it's been quite a while. Could you also tell me a few steps of your growth?
So fortunately, in at least in my streaming career, I haven't faced any sort of hate, or at least it hasn't reached me. If somebody's been talking behind my back, that's exactly where it stayed, and I'm glad it did because honestly, I think people know how I am when I'm angry. I think they've seen my streams. Most of the toxicity I get is from chat, and it doesn't piss me off when people call me a noob or whatever. I mean, they don't understand the fact that I'm not an esports player. I'm a content creator. I play for fun. I play to entertain. I don't play to like get an ace every round or reach radiant in like 5 days. That's not my goal. My goal is to have fun and to have fun with chat. So that is something completely separate. I really don't care when people call me like a bad player or whatever. That's fine. But most of the toxicity that really pisses me off and that I actually react to is when somebody's constantly there are guys making like sexual comments in the chat. That is one of the things that I genuinely hate, and that is one of the things that I say stuff in return for,
I mean,
which
so
I am never ashamed of.
just carry forwarding that same question, because that's something that I think most of the women out there have a fear when they
Yeah.
coming into an industry like us. How do you really deal with this? I mean, you're saying that, okay, I may just block the person, or I will tell one of my moderators to go ahead and report him. But for somebody who's new, say a woman who's very new, imagine Elica starting to stream, when she kind of reads these comments, what would be your advice on how to handle these kinds of situations?
Honestly, I hope you have like really, really good people in the chat. If you find people in the chat that are regular and that are nice and actually enjoy your content, please make them mods. I have, in the beginning, I did not have a lot of mods, and that is when all of these messages used to reach me. And that is when I made a lot of clip worthy moments of giving it back to those people in chat. So, yeah, those clips are still there. And anyone who questions me about them or whatever, I have the same response. Like, if you come to my chat and you say those things, you're not gonna just like have your message hidden and then go away, like you're not gonna get away with it. Basically, that's not what my aim is when I'm streaming. If there's a guy who thinks that he can do this, or somebody in game who's sexist towards me or something, I don't let that slide. And in chat, hopefully these messages will not reach you when you're live, because you have really good mods. So I hope you reach that point where
You have good
these
mods.
messages are deleted way before they reach you. Because honestly,
Yeah.
when they do, no one. If you react in a certain way, I feel like you have the whole right to, and nobody should be questioning you. And तूने ऐसे क्यों बोला, तूने वैसे क्यों बोला? Like if somebody's there saying like really inappropriate things to you, and you're allowed to react however you do, as long
Absolutely.
as you don't stop doing what you're doing. Keep doing your streaming thing, don't let that stop you, but feel free to react.
Yeah, and that's the thing about the fact that, Ankita, that you actually don't play professionally, and then to really grow as a content creator and be an entertainer, that's a different, complete ball game. I don't think a lot of people are able to achieve that. Most of them stand on their stands that, okay, we have a great graduation degree in esports when it comes to professional gaming or being a shoutcaster, but to be an entertainer is a completely different set. So, I mean, congratulations to be one of those really important content creators that India needs,
Thank
and
you.
to also showcase showcase to a lot of women that, even if you don't learn to play professionally, or you think you're not good for the game, that does not mean you run away and hide in the corner. You can definitely go ahead and find a place for yourself. And Tanya, I mean, you're being a shoutcaster. What's the kind of flack that you get, and how do you normally go through this emotion of keeping the negativity aside, because you're always live on camera, right? You can't really showcase what you're truly feeling.
Try to avoid negativity as much as possible, and it is the mods who does everything for us. So it is ultimately the mods that who handle everything, clear it out, and the most positivity that we receive is through the family. So yes, you get some hate, you have to overcome it, and I personally don't like reacting to anything. It is just that they are seeking attention, and if we react to it, they might go for even further next step, which we wouldn't want to see, or which we wouldn't like. That would be the better word. So all I do is just avoid any hate comments that I receive, and I would go further with everything positive that I can grab. And yes, you have more of positive approach rather haters. There are less of haters, to be honest. If there are 50, 60 comments, there are 2 to 3 comments from the haters, so they are negligible. We can avoid that, and I would personally not want to engage into any such of activity connecting to the haters, because they are not here to support me, so they should be non-existing for me.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, you're just like, I'm just not going to see you guys.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just going to be like, this is my mojo round, and I'm just going to do what I'm good at, which is really interesting. And Elika, the fact that, you come from a
Yes.
younger generation compared to maybe the four of us sitting here, you're like the new Gen Z, as we call you all. What are the kind of problems that, you think that women in your age face towards video games? Why do you think they do not take this field as seriously as maybe you do?
I mean, I think there's only one thing I would highlight is that parents and everyone out there, they really don't have that confidence that a kid or maybe a teen can handle studying and, making a career, working towards passion. It's very hard to balance. But what I think was, if you really want your child to go ahead and study and pursue their passion and do everything at the same time, they need to have that interest of doing things. Like, as of now, I love studying. I never have neglected studying. So if it comes down to, at this point, I have to choose between my casting and my studies, I would definitely go for studies, because casting is a talent and it keeps going on with you. It's never going to end. But education, I think it's going to be some particular years till you're 20, you keep studying, and yes, you're done with a degree and you have a graduation. And talking about all the, I wouldn't say hate. I would just say that people doubt me a lot, because I'm way too young, and few people don't even accept the fact I'm 16. That's true. A lot of people do not expect me to be coming out from 16. I think I do not look at anything in the chat. Even if it's a hate coming, I take it as a feedback, because as you said, it's the approach we take. I mean, I'm taking it in a good approach. So if you take it positive, I think everything will be positive. There have been people that they've been telling me that you need to look after your vocabulary, and why is she doing, what is she doing here, why are they why are organizations taking a very small kid, when it comes down to big events. I think age has never been a bar, and I'm very thankful to everyone for giving me an opportunity. I mean, I didn't trust myself that much, but when I came out into the industry, when I started talking to people, people never saw me with the age, to be honest, when it only comes down to be an advantage, a factor that I'm 16. Yeah, people never, I think the only thing they did was to doubt me, and I'm pretty sure I proved them wrong, that you do not have to take any worry, because I came here because I'm confident about what I do. And I'm pretty sure, I think all the women out there, I think confidence is going to be that one main key which is gonna get through them in all the struggles they've been through. There's no struggle, to be honest. People don't point you out or talk bad about you. It's just the way you take it.
Yeah. I mean, that's with everything, right? I mean, as long
Yes.
as you let people talk into your ears about things, they will continue talking. People are there to talk. And, but there's one point that I grabbed from yours that I want to push forward to Saloni. The fact that, when we talk about playing or working in the esports industry, everybody thinks that you're too young. At the same time, if you were playing for a football team or a cricket team, you wouldn't be too young. You'd just be put into a bracket of the under 16 contenders, and then you would be considered a professional player for that. And you have to remove time of that aside from doing your everyday school work. So, Saloni, that's where I come to you. The fact that, do you think that this mentality of thinking that if you're getting into gaming, you need to give your whole life and soul is a taboo that needs to change?
No, actually, it's about responsibility, taking responsibility of what you're doing. I think as a when I started off, even my parents were like the same. I used to play badminton for I used to represent my school and stuff, and my mom used to be proud for that. And at some point, I made it to an extent where I couldn't score good marks in my exams, and that's when my mom asked me to not go for it, because our society has been in a way where it all has to be in textbook, like first you go school, then you go college, then you go graduate, then you get a job, and then you then do whatever you do. But the fact is that in all this while you don't get to do what you actually want to do. And that's when the part of our approach comes in, where you need to understand that, okay, if this is what society or our parents want, we need to do that. We need to take a time out for our hobbies or talent or whatever we have. And and on the same time, you have to do the things that you're supposed to do, as in that it comes in responsibilities. And when I started streaming, I was told that don't go beyond 3 hours. So I used to spend 3 hours streaming in the initial days, when I was not allowed to spend more time in, since like I will agree to Elika, even I was 16 when I started streaming and stuff. People didn't believe me, or doubted me, my choices. And that's where I came and told my parents that I will be scoring good marks. If I don't score good marks, or if I don't stand up to the things that I have committed to you, you may take all my you may take the PC, you may take off the internet connection. I had to make compromises. But I think understanding the responsibility of your everyday schedule and what you are supposed to do is, it plays a major role. If you go beyond your limits, I think that's going to backfire you.
So what I understand from all this is the fact that to work in a place like this, it's just more of discipline, consistency, and confidence. I mean, if you have these three things going for you, any woman out there, any man out there, as a matter of fact, I'm sure you have a lot of different industries that are ready to take you. And Ankita, I didn't really get to ask you this, and I'm really curious. What made you get and into the content creation and then choosing to be an entertainer? Because if you started really young, how did your parents really react to you wanting to do something like that?
So I don't feel like I started very young into the
Oh,
whole
sorry, that's
streaming
because of
and
Elika.
content creation
Honestly,
thing.
because of
Yeah,
Elika.
I was actually working. I had a job. I was a content writer before I got into this. And while I had the job is when I got access to a PC to play games. I didn't have a PC since I think 11th grade or something. I had a PC back then, but I only used to play like games online, or like Miniclip and whatever, and Road Rash, and just all of those games. Okay, you name any game on any website, I've played it. But since then, I didn't have a PC, so I completely forgot that gaming existed at all. And I finished my studies, I got a job just like everybody else, then I switched jobs, whatever, I was into the whole work thing. And then one of my friends introduced me to PCs, and I was like, okay. And then he was like, okay, why don't you try playing PUBG on this and whatever. And that is when I actually got into gaming. And I don't think my parents were very surprised, because back when I used to play games, my mom used to play the same amount of time as me, if not more. So I don't think they were very surprised. And they were actually very supportive when I told them that I want to quit my job and do this full time. So yeah, I did not honestly face any problems at home in terms of switching to anything ever in my life. Like
So you have really supportive parents.
I have extremely supportive
Yeah.
parents. Like right now, if I tell them I want to change this, I want to go do this or whatever, they'll just be like, it's your life. Whatever happens to your life happens because you
Yeah.
did it. So Do what you want to do. So
Tanya, is
yeah.
the same for you in your case? Because I mean, you're a fresh face in the industry. Did you have a similar storyline with your family?
Yeah, my father never had any problem. Actually, I completed my studies first. I am a practicing paramedic at this point of time, so my morning is totally dedicated to that part. So morning 10 to 12, I definitely go, and I'm doing a charity treatment event at this
Oh
point of
wow.
time. So it is good. Then comes 12 p.m. and then I go back to the way work, to the passion. To be honest, that is my profession. This is my passion. So my parents are all clean to go. Do whatever you like, be happy, stay happy, and I'm happy the ways go helping out the humans who are underprivileged, who cannot treat themselves very good. I help them out. And then comes where I enjoy the most: shouter casting, gaming is somewhat what I like since the childhood. Having an elder brother, I had lots of gaming consoles to play with. Computer, I got an access early on, internet connection. So yes, I had this passion built up. But then there was also the importance of education. So it was always the division of time. Your family needs you, your profession needs you, your passion needs you. So it was all consistent. I had to keep the separate slot for everything around, and that is it. But I never had any hindrance coming from my parents. So joining this interview with you, it is just that I would say, if at all we all five women are able to improvise you, influence you in any pattern, this is entirely the session for the same. Even if we are blessed, we did not get to face any struggle, but certainly there are females who are getting to struggle into this field, gaming still being such not so important as a career. Now we see Meow playing professionally, we see Elica who is wanting to go professionally. If you go see Ankkita, she doesn't want to go professionally, but she is entertaining. That is what viewers want. So ultimately you divide into what lures you most. So I'm being lured, being it as a paramedic, as a shoutercaster, as a fun streamer, fun gamer. So yes, it is all ultimately the division of time slot that you give.
That is so well put. That the fact that it's not about esports, it's not about gaming, it's not about women. It's just about human beings finding what they really love, and then being really disciplined and consistent about it. And whenever I have gone live and spoken about gaming, everybody always comes up and tells you that, wow, you're like so lucky you work in the industry. But it's not always roses and petals. There are lots of thorns. You need to be really strong, a really confident person, and the other great part is that in today's time, in this year and age of 2021, women have been supported so massively from the side of India. The fact that Game.tv even has this show just shows how far we have come. Women have gone and participated, 12 teams each, have every week gone ahead and participated and made a name for themselves. Now, Tanya, this is specifically for you. You've seen this tournament go live on screen, you've seen the teams, the players grow through every single season. Tell me a little bit about what you thought of them when they started off, and how far have you seen them come now?
If we say, we can say they are just climbing up. There's no stumbling down at all. We initiate. I'm casting over here since 13 weeks, so we can say I have joined them around 20 weeks around, so to 19 maybe, yeah. So previously it used to be that 20K worth of a prize pool, and it was all solo tournament. They didn't have teams to play with, so all solo girls performing to the best they could. Then ultimately the days came when they had some chemistry built up. You need to have the best of synergy to create a team. So ultimately these players playing into the opposition, not with the team, but then realizing, yeah, she can be the sniper, dying out of a sniper shot, realizing, yes, she can be the sniper for my team, communicated mutually, can you be the sniper, you always need a sniper. Then there was the two players who always used to rush it out, so they realized we need a rusher as well. The one comes the patient, the player who takes the rotation. So mutually they decided, being into the opposition team, still realizing she can be, because I am an assaulter, I need a person who can help me rotate, I need a person who can help me snipe it out. Then the squads were created, the prize pool kept on increasing gradually. So then came for first 5 to 6 weeks it was all solo players. Then gradually the players raised their play, got into the squad play, and now they are playing it as a squad. They're known with the reputation of the squad. There are few reputed already. We cannot. It is a Sunita. You might be very well aware about Sunita, ma'am. She's the oldest Free Fire female player. She's a very good influencer. So then maybe they took her as a role model. They created their own teams, the dream teams. It is never too easy to create the team. We do see some roster changes coming here and there. We can get a better sniper, we can get a better rusher. Now they're all fixed. They have got a very strong teams to play with, and I'm seeing them every week. The team is getting better and better. It is only game.tv by far. I have never seen any tournament specially held for females. This is the only one, and it is a very good platform. That is how I would easily explain. But then, yes, females do have struggles. Some don't have a high end device. It is game.tv who sponsors them. Some females don't have the exact network connections. It is game.tv who helps them out. Because you have the talent within you. It is certainly by birth. You have to shape out the diamond. You have to give the cuts. So yes, they are the diamonds by birth, but those cuts are given by game.tv. So diamonds are shining with certain helps.
Wow, that's honestly fantastic. I've never really, honestly, in all my career, heard about a company put so much of effort to just grow the equality between male and female in our industry. Uh, Quick knowledge bomb there, ladies and gentlemen. The fact that in the world there are 46% women who play games compared to 53% male. So that ratio is seen globally. But in India also, we have more women above the age of 31 who play games compared to men below 18. Now, that's a fact because we have so many other games apart from just esport titles. If you talk about riddle games, trivias, puzzles, those are the games where women, you will normally see them go ahead and spend a lot of time on. So it's a taboo. Honestly, it's a taboo for me when people say that there are not many women that play professionally. And Mia, this one comes back to you. You know, the fact that if you had these privileges that Game.tv had given you at that time, today maybe you would have had one of the best top women teams in the country, right? But from then to now, do you feel that struggle changing for you from the years?
Yeah, so like 2 years ago or 3 years down the line, we didn't have so many companies or so many big names trying to help out creating opportunities for women. And I think, yeah, last year it was the first time I played an all female tournament for CSGO. I think it was 2019. Yeah, so that was the first time I even saw or got to know that India has hosted. In India, there is a female tournament being hosted, and it actually created so much hype. And uh, we didn't even know so many female gamers back then, but then when this opportunity came up, there were so many female players that came up. Hey, do you have a team? Do you have a team? Do you have players? They were searching for players. They were so willing to play. So I think this approach of having a all female tournament and competition, bringing their names up, showcasing their talents, I think this is like one really big thing that our community has been investing in. And the time that women, I think it's not going to be really far where women are going to be competing with male and female are going to make a mixed team and play professionally as well.
I mean, that's a dream team concept, I must say. I mean, I've been waiting for that day where we're going to have like two women and three guys in one team and go and play a World Cup or something from India. I think that would be the day all of us would be really, really proud of our roots, of where we belong and how far we have grown. So, this, of course, moves me to my final segment. This is a very important segment also. This is where I want to ask you all your advices or your thoughts or for women out there who have just maybe started scratching the surface of the esports industry. What would be your advice, Ankkita, for the younger women today looking to come into the esports industry?
Well, the first thing is obviously like representation is really important, and I feel like right now compared to a few years ago, there are a lot of women that the girls can look up to. A lot of content creators out there, a lot of professional players, casters, whatever the field that they want to get into. So I would suggest that you look at them for inspiration and you see that this is a viable career path, of a good choice to invest your time and everything in. And once you've decided, make sure you give it 100% and don't let anything stop you. People might doubt you, people might hate you, but then again, they don't have the talent that you have. So just go for it and don't give up, even if you whatever happens.
Well, that's very important advice, especially for young streamers and content creators. It's really difficult to be consistent, and this is put out there so many times. You will give up very easily in the first 3 4 months. It's not that easy. It looks really easy. It looks really fun, but it's not like that. And but at the end of the day, if you make it all the way, you will enjoy the journey. Finding your passion, I think, is key for you, because I see Ankita. I mean, the fact that you were so passionate to just go ahead, create great content, is what drove you to really go ahead and make yourself so good at it in on different platforms, including YouTube and wherever else you stream. But at the same time, Tanya, now what would be your advice, because you have come in very fresh, you've been here for say 2 years now, you've cast in multiple kinds of tournaments. What is your advice for women who have just scratched the surface?
Follow your passion would be my first and foremost advice. Just follow what you love to do, because yes, parents will also gradually realize that if my child is not enjoying your career, enjoying her career or his also for this point of time, there's no point to push into such career that your child ultimately is going to shrink down. If you want the growth, it is all that choose your passion. Ultimately your parents will also start to support you, because in the beginning you have to earn that position to say, in the eyes of your parents first. To be honest, it is always you have to impress your parents that yes, I can do it. So for me, go for the pair go for showing it out to your parents that you have it in you. Once your parents are with you, once your family is in your support, I don't think there's anything else that can stop you. Not even a multiple hate coming through this chatting section or behind the backs whatsoever. If your parents are there to support you, if your family is there, there's nothing that can stop your passion.
Well, that's brilliant. Another, all the five of us, I think our parents have been like so supportive
Yeah.
about whatever we want. And I think that is key. I think for everybody watching here today, no matter what you're doing, make sure first that you have your closest on board with you. Once they are with you, then the world can go ahead and throw whatever at you and you're going to be fine. And Elika, I want advice from you for people of your age who are very new to this, who are actually the ones who get
Yes.
more harmed by hatred. Once you cross a certain age, you just let it pass, because you know that it's fine. But for women of your age who are entering this, for people who will be affected by thoughts like this, what could be your advice to them?
It's more like a conversation rather than an advice, because I'm talking to the age of my people. And I would say eat it, buddy. Just eat, try things out. If it's not working for you, move on, try another one. And if you still don't feel like you're not very good enough, just keep working on it. Just don't give up. Giving up is not the ultimate option. The end goal is to achieve the peace. And apart from that, I would say, if you're receiving a lot of hate, how to overcome it is just, where you're standing. You know why you're here. And I think there's no reason to even accept the hate. You know why you're standing there. And even after reaching heights, if people start to hating you, you have the clear answer that it's gonna keep coming, no matter where you're standing. Even if you're the world's beautiful woman, or even if you're Miss World, the hate will still keep coming. So I think just eat it, buddy. I would say, like, Gen Z generation.
Yeah, strong
Just
hearts.
try it out.
Be very strong and take it like a wall, and that is also very very important. And of course, yeah. I mean, since you are again us, I always try to emphasize the fact that you're a professional gamer. I don't think you've had a lot of idols from in the Indian gaming community. You're among the few that I know about. So, what are the women, female idols for you?
Female idols for me, Indian.
No, it can be anybody. I just want to know, who do you look up to wherever you feel that you need a little bit of push.
Um, I think it could be like out of the gaming industry, right? Or in general,
In
anything.
general, like I would say Serena
Yeah,
Williams for me is like such a wonderful person. The fact that she's so disciplined, she's so consistent, she's gotten some of the best titles on the World League. She's
yes.
my idol. So just like that, who do you look up to?
I look up to my mom, and it really, really inspires me. The way she is, whatever happens, like it may be hate, maybe a milestone that I have achieved, everything. She knows everything, and she has pulled me from my, darkest times, and I have told each and everything to her. So I think, yeah, when you said that parents are supposed to be the pillars of your foundation. I do agree, because even in initial stages I was not supported by my parents. They didn't believe in me, but then when I started proving them, now they're supporting me to the to the end. And if like right now, where I am right now, it's because of my mother. And I think she has been pushing me for going an extra step ahead, and asking me questions, why are you not performing these days. She keeps watching my matches, she keeps reviewing my profiles, the way casters talk about me, the way casters emphasize how I play. And she keeps telling me that this is not the end. And the one thing that she wants me to do is that not leave the place that I belong to. That being down to earth is what she wants me to do, wants me to be. And I think that's what makes me feel more safer when I have my mother beside me. I think she has to be my idol. And yeah.
And Ankita, for you, I mean, the fact that, in your work, you have so many other big streamers out there. I could just imagine if I was a 16-year-old girl trying to find an idol, I would be completely lost in the YouTube market. So, for all those women out there who need to idolize somebody, who is the one that you idolize, first of all?
In terms of women in gaming, honestly, I'll tell you, when I started out gaming and up until now, in the beginning, I never watched anyone. I did not know gaming or gaming on YouTube or anything was a thing at all. So when I started, I didn't watch anyone, and there were no females streaming on YouTube when I started. So there were no idols.
You just
I
idolized
just
yourself. You're like,
yeah,
I'm the
like
one.
okay. I did see Learn at that time, and right now I'm watching Lulu Lovely. So I think these are two great content creators and female players that I enjoy watching. I used to watch Learn, and right now Lulu. So I mean, apart from that, there are no actual idols or anybody, because there was nobody
There
that
was
I had
nobody.
to watch.
Yeah, like we come from an era where there was nobody.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But I mean, Tanya, for you, it's different, right? Because when you came in, there were already very established shoutcasters across the globe, across India. Who are the ones you really looked up to and were like, hey, you know what? I think I like the way this person does this. I think I could idolize them and then go ahead and, create something of my own, but getting a reference from somebody else.
To be honest, I never was influenced or idolized any of the casters. You can say I created my own panel of shouter casting whatsoever. I did not idolize any, but yes, there were certain players whom I adored. There were certain casters who whom I still like, and I've seen your casting as well, Angela. Very recently, though, I liked it as well.
Well,
So
thank
for
you.
now, if I had to choose, I would definitely go. Angela, you do your work very good. Apart from that, you joined us a little later, Angela. Before had a small question to ask at the end of the panel, at the end of the show. We wanted a little bit of briefing coming from you as well, as you have done a lot of asking with us. We would also have a little more info. So yes, it is a surprise for you. It is a surprise of element for you. But yes, we did have a back end discussion that by the end of the show, we are going to ask Angela, how has your work been easier, tougher, smoother, whatsoever? So yes, I would ask from you as well.
I mean, for me, it's honestly been a roller coaster ride. The fact that I left home when I was just about, I think, 18 or 20, and I went ahead and I was like, I'm just going to go away and create something of my own in a place I really didn't know. It I think it had to do a lot of support, like you all mentioned, the fact that my family were supportive. The only thing my mom really told me is that until you graduate, you can't leave the house, and I told her that I'm completely happy because I can play from the house. So we kind of had a really good rapport when it came to that. And when I did leave and I found my way, every single day it was different. And I've never looked back. I guess that's why I've never really seen the struggle as a struggle. I have learned from whoever was ready to teach me. I have worked with brands, even if it meant not getting a payment or them just telling me, I'll give you a headset if you do this for me. And then I used to go to the store and, sell the headset back to the person and pay my rent. So there were all different kinds of problems. And that's why today also, when I sit here, for me, the most important thing is to see how far have we come? How far have we grown grown stronger as women. Because if I would see Meow maybe in 2016, we didn't know what was happening. It was just everybody is doing their own thing. Everybody's trying to, either compete with the other person or not really know how far to go. But now there's a time where there is structure, there are companies, there are budgets made for work like ours. Otherwise, we didn't even have a budget for streamers or casters or content creators. This is all like a recent phenomena. So it's wonderful to see how far we have come, but I'm even more excited to see how far we will go, because if we have reached here and esports has just started brewing in India, I can imagine that maybe 3 years from now we would be a world class country to come and compete in, and not only for men but very specifically women. And that's why, even though I'm doing the show, Game.tv has a very special hashtag for this particular episode. It's called hashtag growing stronger. And I think it's the perfect hashtag for women to just go ahead on their social medias and say, I'm with you, or, with all five of us sitting here. It really shows how far esports has come. And I'm really proud of that. Uh, I can't say more because I'm just so happy that we are here. I'm like, oh my god, we've reached a point in Indian esports where there are five women on a call, very respected in their fields, and we can sit together and have a conversation without trying to backbite. Because as far as taboos go, people always think that women are really toxic in whichever industry they belong. They have this kind of negativity towards each other, and I want to tell all the women out there that is absolutely false. It's not like that. You have to find the right kind of women in the industry to work with. You have to go ahead and do a little bit of research, and whether it's a man or a woman, at the end of the day, your judgment is what is going to decide how you really stand in the industry, and that's the most important thing. But yeah, I mean, before we close it, Elika, I do want to ask you one final question, and this is just to broaden my perspective. The fact that you are a growing streamer, how has your family reacted to that? Because that is something that a lot of women at your age have to go ahead and talk to their parents about, that I really want to do this, I really like doing this, can I go ahead and take this as an option? And I don't mean if you're coming from a family where the parents are really outgoing and are like, of course my child go ahead and do it. I'm talking about maybe the tier 2 cities in our country where
Yes.
it's difficult for them to say, I'll follow my passion.
I come from Hyderabad, and I don't want to mention anything, but nope. When I said gaming, there was just a red alert. You know, when the football players get that red card and they just, walk out of the field, that's what exactly happened when I told my mom. She had a huge denial looking on her face. I could see it. I could see it coming through. She was like, nope. I've tried a lot of things. I mean, at a point, I did an internship for NASA for all the 10th class kids, and then I used to go for skating. I used to be a dancer. I tried a lot of things. My mom thought it'll be also a thing. It'll get away in 6 months. So she didn't want to argue with me. She's like, okay, go ahead and do that. And when I started playing, I was really into it. My mom was not accepting the fact in the beginning, but then when she saw me doing things in action, she was surprised. She couldn't believe in herself. And when I kept doing it, she asked me, what are you getting out of it? What exactly are you looking forward in this industry? You have to go ahead and look after your studies. But my studies were never a problem. I'm not to
Nerd.
brag about, but I'm a really good student.
Yeah.
I've got like 90% plus playing games. So my mom was happy about it. She asked me, what are you getting out of it? Studies, okay, I get it. But what are you getting out of it? So I tried her explaining. She didn't understand. So I directly took her to the events. So every event I went, I took her and I
Okay, so
showed her this is how it happens.
that's a smart thing. I think all younger people, all young women
Yes,
out there looking to really
it's
educate your
difficult.
parents, I think the best thing to do is either take them for a tournament, make them watch games, and you can definitely get them to watch
Yeah.
games on Game.tv. There are streamers there, professional gamers there are leagues, there are tournaments. There's so many things happening onto that banner, and that, of course,
One thing I would like to say is,
yes.
I'm sorry to cut off. One thing that don't ever think that your parents won't understand. They will. Eventually, they will. They have to. They are your parents at the end of the day. All they care about is you. I've seen a lot of gamers, not only female. There are a lot of children like who want to explain. There are a lot of questions popping up too. I think every single one of you have received a question how to make your parents understand. I want to get into gaming. How do I make them understand? It's the process. It's a process. You do not just go ahead and tell your parents that they understand. you have to take, it takes a lot of time. Just make sure you do not, lose that trust on your parents. They are your parents. I did not expect my mom coming into, she's like a woman. She's very girly. She looks after her job. She looks after me and my sister. Like, she makes sure we are eating, we are studying at the right time. And she would never take an risk of me going into a very separate industry. I mean, even the brothers I have, nobody was into this industry. No, everybody was good. Everybody's educated. All they do is study, 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 study. But me being a little cranky kid, I always used to, annoy my mom. I think my annoying, I think it got me to a right place.
Yeah.
Hopefully my mom understands now. She gets it. And even though, like, before the event started, I video called her. She's so happy. She knows each and every one of you. I'm not gonna lie, because every time there's an event happening, I go and I sit exactly. So mom, she's Angela, she's so I wouldn't say old, she's so elder to me. And she
I'm going to conclude this now.
I tried stopping myself
Oh
by
my
not
god.
saying that, but yeah, I used to tell,
Senior.
she's a
Senior
very
is
good
the right one,
customer.
Alika.
Yes,
Yeah.
she's senior and she's still working. Like, she took this into a career, and then I show her Meow. Meow, she's very familiar with Meow. Even though she hasn't met Meow, she knows Meow, because everything Meow does, I go behind my mom and I tell her, she's playing that tournament, I want to play that. No matter what, I'm gonna sit till 12 p.m. in the night. I'm gonna learn and I'm gonna do that. And
That
my
makes
mom used to
sense.
be fine. Okay, if this other people, it's like, agar, if your friend is gonna jump in a well, even would you like to go and jump in a well? That's like the
Yeah.
basic taunt my mom gives me.
Well, that's how it is. But like you mentioned, the fact that it all comes down to being patient, even with your parents. The fact that they come from a different generation. We too, as young individuals, should understand that it's difficult for them to understand what we really do. There is a time now that all children are born with mobile phones in their hand, but there was a time when these
Yes.
things didn't exist. So for them, it's a completely new phenomena. So be patient and be kind, and I'm sure that you will all find your way. And a very, very big thank you for all of you all to come and do this special session for us. Game.tv is a place. You just got to go download that app, and I'm sure if you are a streamer, if you're a shoutcaster, if you're a professional gamer, no matter what you're doing, there is an opportunity lying for you on this app. The fact that they are so kind to every woman that has stepped into the field is something that I would really like to thank them for. And the fact that each of you all took out time to come here today, thank you so much. This is really a privilege to have so many great women here in the Women's Week. And everybody tuning in, of course, we do have Diva Scrim Wars going live to you on Monday night, mostly at 8 p.m. So please go ahead, tune in, download the app, and I hope that some of you all, or maybe all of you all, women sitting in the home, will be someday onto my screens also. Thank you so much.